advanced Islamic studies tailored towards training students capable of addressing the needs of contemporary societies for over 20 years. Salawat. Just before we start, please can everyone move forward as much as possible, and on the ladies' side if there could be space near the door to allow more people to enter. So please can everyone move forward as much as possible.
رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين شفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين وأصحابه المنتجبين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بأبي عبد الله الحسين عليه الصلاة والسلام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. If we look at the Quran, Allah conveys to us an understanding of this world that it is preordained. Of course, He makes provisions and He says He can overrule any factor of the earth and make and recarve destiny. But by and large, He states to us that in this world of yours, everything has been done and it has been ordained the way it is. There is one thing, however, that is left unordained, and that is your salvation. You are the sole agent responsible for your salvation or your damnation. He is saying, in this preordained world, your task is to liberate yourself and to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to embrace this truth. In other words, leave your restrictions, leave your insecurities, and arise and evolve and embrace Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Allah's entirety. And therefore, he states that Allah becomes the point of intimate bonding, love, trust, one that encourages, removes fear and insecurity, and in its place gives confidence. He explains this process in the Quran that everything is in a constant state of change. Nothing is there to remain permanent. You need to understand this, that this is an opportunity through which you have to grow, evolve, and reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now think about this carefully, and it is quite pertinent to talk about this on this day when we are remembering our great love of our heart, the one who is the beat within our chest. The heartbeat in itself is Husayn ibn Ali. How he evolves, how he changes, how he embraces God, and how he becomes godly through God. We are born in the cradle of animality, and as soon as we begin to learn, we are conditioned. This conditioning gives us identity, a false sense of security, but none of those things are there. They aren't there. We are not supposed to have restricted identities. We are from the unlimited. We are supposed to become as unlimited, as brilliant, as beautiful as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The color, the gender, the religion, the status, origin, all of these things are arbitrary. يَخْلُقُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ. Allah creates what He wants and He chooses what He wants. He could have easily put me in a Sunni household, in a Hindu household, in a Buddhist household. He could have easily changed my gender. He could have easily made me son of somebody else. All of these things are arbitrary. But we naively understand them as being essential facets of our existence. A woman is not a woman and a man is not a man. We are beyond gender. We are beyond Islam and Hinduism. We are a reality that is beyond all of these things. The world, therefore, Allah says, is ordained for you, and it's a constantly changing world. In this changing world, your task is to be liberated constantly. Your naive mind wants permanence, and you find satisfaction, safety, and happiness in permanence. But there is no permanence in the real world. Now, I often ask the litmus test to know if we are successful or not. If the thought of death does not sit well with us, then we should know that we have not arrived at the truth of existence. If the pain inside my chest bewilders me, frightens me, then I should know that I have not arrived anywhere in this journey of my life. If the thought of the grave and loneliness and whatever else is described brings discomfort to my soul, if I need to ask people, pray for me, if I am going into the unknown, then I should know that I haven't started the journey of life yet. It shows that I haven't opened my eyes to the real world. If I had found my God, then what difference does it make, as Akbar says, whether we rush to death or death comes upon us? Does it make any difference? We are going to that destiny that awaits us, that God. Until and unless Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes the friend, the parent, the one we love, the one we trust, the one we can open up to, have we truly begun the journey? It is here that we begin to realize that there is no sacredness. There is nothing that is sacred. If sacredness means that it cannot be changed or questioned, there is only one thing that is sacred, and that is what I am becoming with my God through sincerity and truthfulness. Allah has created this beautiful system in which He says to me, whatever comes to you, you're not supposed to be overjoyed. I've already written that for you in the Quran. If it were to leave you, you're not supposed to be broken at it leaving you. I've already destined it. You are supposed to find me through it instead. He said, إِلَّا فِي كِتَابٍ مِّن قَبْلِ أَن نَبْرَأَهَا مَا أَصَابَكُم مِّن مُصِيبَةٍ. No tribulation will befall you within the earth or in your souls, but that it has already been prescribed in a book before I made the earth, so that you may not be overjoyed at what comes to you. You may not grieve at what leaves you. Your task is something else altogether. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about a preordained universe and a constantly changing universe. You know the verses of the Quran, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِالشَّيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ. These talk about constant change. And if we look at the world at the existential level, everything is constantly changing. If at the level of existence everything is changing, then everything built upon existence will also change. There is no status that will remain the same. No life will be perpetual. It will end with death. Sickness will turn into health, and health into sickness, wealth into poverty, and poverty into wealth. These things are meant to be that way in order for us to sever our attachments with these things and to be liberated through them and to arrive at a pedestal greater than them. Imagine, if the kingdom of Sulaiman makes us, then the kingdom of Sulaiman breaks us. But if we were to evolve beyond the kingdom of Sulaiman, then there Allah has made us and we can no longer be broken. Imagine, if I did not have an enemy, when will I get the opportunity to come beyond my rage and my want to seek revenge? When will I get the opportunity to forgive and become God-like? Imagine, if I did not have a contrary opinion, when will I get the opportunity to break the sacred symbol that is in my mind? If I did not have other religious perspectives, when will I challenge the idol in the name of Allah that I have erected in my head? That is there as an opportunity, is supposed to be there. I'm supposed to break the idol in the name of God that I have made. Imagine if death did not come upon my mother, when will I have gotten the opportunity to be able to evolve beyond my mother to the mother of all mothers? These are beautiful opportunities. Nothing is sacred in this world. The only thing that is sacred is me and what I am becoming and my God. So the secret of this world is to constantly be in a state of becoming. Now, what we see in this day is a most intimate type of becoming. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is surrendered to, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to personally mold the soul. Hussein ibn Ali goes beyond our formal Islam. His Islam is not the one that we practice. It's a very different Islam. It's beyond color, and it's beyond gender, and it's beyond religion and persuasion. He has a non-Muslim in his camp and somebody who is not prayed behind him, acknowledging him as the Imam. It doesn't concern him. None of these things concern him. He goes beyond all of these things. But that at the depth of his being, he decides to give himself away to Allah in a most meaningful way, in a most intimate way. Here we need to understand that suffering is a part of change. We are supposed to suffer in this world, and this suffering purifies the soul from other than God. You see, when we are challenged intellectually, we suffer. Because I've believed this, I've held this sacred all my life. This is my ark of safety, and somebody just pulls the rug from beneath our feet and says, you know what, there is no ark of safety. You're in the middle of the ocean and you're drowning. Yeah? That is very painful. It's not painful because it's a fact. It's painful because we, in our weakness, have attached to that false belief, and it's given us security, false security. And when somebody breaks it or challenges it, it causes a psychological state which is unbefitting within us, and that is known as suffering. That state is a necessary state in order to refine the soul, that the soul goes beyond it. How wonderful was the story, or is the story of Ibrahim. You know, Ibrahim, he wasn't told by Allah to go and cut the throat of Ismail. Allah would not do such a thing. Ibrahim's story was another one altogether. He was a monotheist, not intellectually, but spiritually. He loved Allah and only Allah, and so everything through Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala suddenly decides to pop up a test in the life of Ibrahim that he could not have anticipated or expected. We don't find Ibrahim praying for a son unlike Nabi Zakaria, do we? Ibrahim is just told, we are giving you a son. And then another one, Ishaq. Now what happens is that Ibrahim is taken through this deliberately by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah constructs the whole thing in order to give Ibrahim an opportunity to arrive at the fullness of his being. Ibrahim falls deeply in love with Ismail, very deeply, to the extent that he finds that Ismail is distracting him. And he finds that painful. He finds it painful that is he compromising his love for Allah through his son now Ismail, who gives him so much joy, for whom he is so worried. He can't live without him. He's constantly preoccupied in the thoughts of Ismail. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offered an opportunity to Ibrahim to arrive at the greatest pedestal that we could, at an emotional level. And before we go there, I'll give another example. Iblis was given the greatest opportunity anybody could have been given. By all means, Iblis was better than Adam at all. Fine. He's worshipped Allah so brilliantly. He knows the secrets of the cosmos. Intellectually, he's evolved. Yes? He's invested in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here comes a huge opportunity for Iblis. Prostrate in front of Adam. But I'm better than him. Yes, but prostrate. Show me that you are able to let go of your better discretion for the sake of obeying me. Tell me that I love you enough, O Lord, to go beyond this stumbling block. Show that to me. Had Iblis done sajda to Adam, Adam would have become the student of Iblis, and Iblis would have been the master of all of mankind. That was a great opportunity placed in front of Iblis at that point. He failed to seize it. It was a very emotional thing. He felt a lot of pain. Iblis felt very bitter, very painful. But that's supposed to be the case anyway. It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be traumatic. It's supposed to be hard, painful, and suffering have to come. So here is Ibrahim. He falls in love with his son to the extent that he feels he is compromising his God. So he begins to see dreams, which is his own soul telling him, cut him, finish him off. Offer that gesture to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you hold him at the core of your being, the most important. Your son does not come between you and your God. Show that to Allah. Give that gesture to Allah. It's not God ordaining the slaughtering of Ismail. It's Ibrahim's own attachment to Allah that is ordaining this. He says, I see a dream. He doesn't say Allah is telling me, I see a dream. Here he is able to undergo that suffering, that trauma, as he gives into it and he says, yes, I'll go for this. And this is the deepest level in which Allah tries a human being. Shaitan appears and says, you know what, Ibrahim, Allah cannot say this to you. It must be the shaitan, and shaitan is right, Iblis is right. Allah cannot say such a thing. It is the devil who is inspiring you. But Ibrahim knew, no, there is something else here. There is something inside me. It is not the devil, it's something inside me truly, but it wasn't Allah nonetheless. But Ibrahim goes beyond that level. What happens is that he is all of a sudden relieved. All the attachments are broken. Allah becomes the center of his universe. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevails upon his soul. And he knows at this point now that he's been fully liberated. This is what happens to me and you, and this is what Hussein ibn Ali shows to us, that we are constantly in a state of becoming. There is nothing sacred. All the ideas in our minds will break and have to be challenged and will have to be broken. There is no social structure that is permanent. The houses will be demolished. The non-Muslims will be victorious. Our mothers will have to die. All of these things will happen. We are supposed to grow through all of them. But finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if a soul is able to give itself away in the rightest way, then Allah finds that weakness inside the soul. And very subtly, He tests us. And at that point, it might be a point of make or break. Intense suffering, intense calamity. It might not be very graphic. It might not be in the form of arrows and swords. It might be something totally internal. It might not even seem anything to the onlooker, but the person who's going through it, they are experiencing something that only they know. In this world of God, God is the point of liberation. God is the only truthful one. If we are invested in the love of our family, then that is a reflection of Allah. He is the mother, He is the father, He is the brother, He is that caring friend. He is the first, He is the last. He is the apparent, He is the hidden. He is the one with whom we share openly. He is the one we love wholeheartedly. He is the one we go to. He is the one we do not resist. When He calls, we begin to give ourselves away to Him. Look at how beautifully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests the soul of Hussein ibn Ali. And I know we have the maqtal in a little while, but look at the stages of Hussein ibn Ali. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. You see him at the body of his son. And as Akbar rubs his heels upon the dust of Karbala, he says, "Oh child, this world has become a darkened place for your father." But still, he finds that resolve, shakes the dust off his garment, and he walks. We find him again with his cheek upon the chest of Qasim, crying out aloud, "Oh child, it is unbearable for your old uncle that you call on to him and he does not arrive at your side." But he walks away again. We see him at the banks of Al-Qama or Euphrates. This is on the day of Ashura, the greatest tribulation that he has experienced so far. He holds the head of Abbas to his chest and cries out aloud that you have broken my back. There is no means for me to be saved now. He cries for his Abbas to an extent that he is a broken man now. He doesn't have anything left in him. Yet, with some resolve, he stands. In all of this, look at his spiritual status and being. He calls out to Allah, "Anta thiqati fi kulli hali, wa la ma'buda siwak." You're the one I rely upon in every affair. There is no one worthy of worship other than you, O God. His son is killed. He says, "O Lord, you are the one who preserves every soul with what they have done. What makes this bearable is that you share in this grief with me." Subhanallah. At one point is Allahumma anta muta'aliyul makan azimul jabarut qareebun mujib. O Lord, you are lofty in your ranks, mighty, proximate, and responding to everything that we say. I'll say, "Oh Hussein, your Lord has not claimed you fully yet. He will not cease until he has claimed you. Give yourself away to him." And we find a scene, and it's amazing. He is holding a little baby. And the grief is so intense that he is unable to control himself. We do not see him tremble in this way prior to this moment. Cries out aloud, as if the great warrior is being brought upon his knees. This is most unbearable for Hussein. Little did he know that after Akbar and Asghar, Allah will still test him to a level that he can break him. Amazing, isn't it? Under weightlessness of a baby's weight, the man crumbles. The hadith of seventh Imam says that this was the first time on the day of Ashura that the heavens intervened. There was an inspiration upon the heart of Hussein. And it said to Hussein, "O Hussein, give him to me. Let him go. Give him to me. I have a mother waiting for him to feed him." And Hussein is able to walk again. And then, the final trial of Hussein. Hamid ibn Muslim says that it was his final battle. He leaves his tent. The wind of the desert is blowing. His garment is being blown from side to side. He slowly begins to approach his steed. I see a little girl emerging from the tents behind him. with trembling legs, unable to walk steadily. She walks behind him. She comes close to him and pulls at the hem of his garment. As she pulls at the hem of his garment, he turns. As he turns, she speaks, Ya abata undur ilayya. O father, look at me. Inni atshan. I die of thirst. Hussein's eyes flood with tears. He extends his hand, places it on the head of the child, and he says, Saqakillah ya bunayya. May Allah quench your thirst, O child. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. فاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In 2 minutes, we'll just start the Maqtal Marshia recitation today. Just a quick announcement: we do have facilities in the house next door, 39 Gloucester Road, for parents with children. If they would like to, be there with their children for the period, they can do so. Audio and visual will be available, and you'll be able to follow the program from there. Salawat.